It's been a constant joke in the music world that Saint-Saëns was a first-rate, second-rate composer, that here was a man who was brilliant in execution, but whose inspiration may have let him down. It's true that the late 19th century French composer was born at an awkward time, on the cusp of an emerging new world in a city, Paris, that embraced modernity like no other. But it's an unfair accusation, and Ravel, that truly great master of colour and texture, had great admiration for him, taking Saint-Saëns' first piano trio as a model for his own piano trio. Camille Saint-Saëns was a piano prodigy and performed Beethoven piano concertos in public at the age of 11, offering to play any one of Beethoven's 32 piano sonatas from memory as an encore. But what marked Saint-Saëns out as a composer from an early age was his ability to absorb a great number of musical styles into his writing, from Wagner and Bach to Mendelssohn and Berlioz, and his ear for melody and skill as an orchestrator was second to none. He was worshipped in France, with statues of him erected and streets named after him, all when he was still alive. And composers lined up to praise him. Berlioz called him one of the great hopes for French music, and Liszt hugely admired him, making a fiendish piano arrangement of his orchestral work, the Danse Macabre. In fact, it was Liszt who ensured that Saint-Saëns' opera Samson and Delilah was performed in Weimar, Paris, having rejected it for its biblical themes. At the very heart of Saint-Saëns' music are elegance and craftsmanship, supporting his view that music is a refinement to life, to be enjoyed alongside good food and fine wine. Listen to his second piano concerto, a work that contains quite a few elements of Western music, from a solemn fantasia-like opening to a sparkling dance in the finale. Said one pianist, it begins with Bach and ends with Offenbach. And the symphonies too are full of grace and wit, the third with its organ part containing too some of the most ravishing music in all 19th century orchestral repertoire. And the violin concertos and the introduction and Rondo Capriccioso are all exquisitely written for virtuoso performers, slick and polished. So what has stood in Saint-Saëns' way in becoming a truly great figure of Western music? In old age, Saint-Saëns became an ardent defender of the old school, turning on Wagner's progressive style, but he reserved his most acute hatred for the music of Debussy, even blocking his fellow composer's election to the French National Institute of Music. As far as Saint-Saëns was concerned, Debussy's music, with its fluid use of rhythm, harmony and structure, was a threat to the pure foundations of musical art. And so, Saint-Saëns was simply left standing on the shore, while modern music's ship set sail for the future. But perhaps we should listen to the composer Honegger, who was more inclined to champion the masters who had inspired music's innovators rather than the innovators themselves. Wagner, he said, stands behind Schoenberg, Rimsky-Korsakov behind Stravinsky, and behind Ravel, there is Saint-Saëns. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button and subscribe. Discover more classical music content at colstonhall.org/classical.